Hello, welcome back to Mynnnat.com Creativity Through Chess, Chapter 12, The Queen of Gambits. Anna Muzychuk is considered the second best WGM in Ukraine as of 2021, right after her own young sister. Ori Kobo is an Israeli young GM who lives in Jerusalem. In 2020, just before the COVID-19 hit Europe, the two met at Catalan Bay, a beautiful fishing village in Gibraltar. We are 22 moves into the game. Muzychuk in white has two strong bishops aiming towards black kingside, unlike black bishops. Also note that the white bishop on e5 is perfectly located, which is the basis of white's attack plan. White would like to free the 7th rank and get rid of the black pawn on f5. Can you see a way to achieve both? Stop the video and think, it ain't easy. Well, if you saw it, well done. It starts with exchanging bishop for a pawn on f5. Can you see the next move? It's brilliant. White sacrifices her queen with rook to d7, capturing the strategic 7th rank. Black can't accept the sacrifice and take white queen since it's mate in 2. First rook takes g7 with check, and after king moves to h8, white rook gently moves to block black rook and game is over. So black must move its rook to protect g-file, and now white can check and then safely take black bishop on b7. Great tactics, and buckle up, you haven't seen anything yet. Black bishop moves to f2, trying to win the h4 dangerous pawn by forking rook and pawn. What would you do as white? To black's surprise, white prefers her pawn. Pawn to h5. Can you see why? If black queen takes pawn, white queen moves to f7 and black can't accept the sacrifice since it's mate in 1. Now, even if black rook moves to g8, white is still winning. Can you see how? If you saw it, well done. Bishop takes g7 and black must take back with g6 rook, making way for white to take black queen, and the game is over in the next two moves. Back to the real game. Black thought he has found a way, rook to g3, attacking both queen and rook. What would you do as white now? Muzychuk proves once again that she prefers position over material, queen to d5, and black can't win the rook on e1. Can you see why? White pawn to h6 and the game is practically over. The young Israeli saw it as well, pawn to h6. The next step in white's strategic plan is to free d4, and for that she has to push black bishop away, rook to e2. Black first forces white king into the open, rook to g1, check, and white king has to move to d2. Now, black has no choice. Bishop moves to h1, and white queen can own d4, both controlling the main diagonal and threatening rook on g1. Anyone who is not a GM would see a good chance for black now. Rook to d8, pinning white queen, isn't it? Well, black didn't even try. Can you see why? Let's see. If black rook moves to d8, white first check with bishop takes on g7, and king has to move to g8. Now, the queen of Gambits can safely sacrifice her own queen. Queen to d8, and after bishop takes queen, it's a forced mate in 2. Rook to e8, check, and then checkmate. So instead, black fights back, rook to c8, aiming to take c2 and harass white king to death. What would you do as white? Well, Muzychuk doesn't even blink. First, bishop takes g7, check, and then queen takes rook. One needs ice-cold nerves to allow black taking c2. One thing is clear to both players. White needs only one move without black harassing her king, and the game is over. She has to see many moves ahead, as her king will start to wander all over the place, but apparently she clearly saw it all the way through, and after a few moves, black realizes that he cannot check white forever and resigned. This fantastic game by white was nominated the Game of the Year by many chess fans. That's all for now. The full game, as always, can be found below the YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed this episode by Mynnnat.com. If you did, please give us a like and go check our Amazon store for our unique chess sets. Discount coupons available on our site. The links are just below the video.